On there, folks. We're back. I don't know what happened, but technical difficulties. But gang, show up at the show, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, wearing one of my shirts. And if you show up there wearing one of my shirts, you're going to get free stuff. We're going to be giving away lots of stuff. We got stuff from Costa. We got stuff from Baja Jerky. We got Promar. We got Akuma. We got Opsin Fluorocarbon. And also, Opsin Fluorocarbon for today's show is giving us 50% off discount tickets that I will disperse to 3 people at the end of the show that leave a comment. Leave a comment, ask Ryan or myself a question, and we're going to get going here in just a second. We're going to bring Ryan on right now to join the show. Hey, Ryan, Slay Day. Ryan, how are you today, sir?
Hey, Dave. Good afternoon. Thanks for inviting me on the show. I'm very, very stoked. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I just want you to understand you're one of our very first, or you are the very first guest we've ever had. And we've been doing this show now for 3 years. We've done over 1,100 of these shows. So welcome to the show. Thanks for being a part of. And gang, I want Ryan to let you know, because I think what he does is absolutely phenomenal, and it'll only help us, members of my website, and those of you that aren't members but thinking about it, but you don't have a boat. Listen to this. I want Ryan to describe what Slay Day is all about. I'm going to shut up for a few minutes. I know that's going to be hard, but I'm going to do my best to keep my mouth shut for a few minutes. So go ahead, Ryan. Let everybody know what you do.
Well, thank you, Dave. So we have a unique business model where for about 6 years now, we have center consoles, skiffs, walkarounds that we have for rent here in Southern California. And what I like to tell people that maybe don't know what that verbiage is everybody, rented a little aluminum boat at the local lake when you grew up with your dad, whether you went to June Lake or you went locally to, Paris, or imagine that little aluminum boat on steroids. We got 21 and 23 foot aluminum boats. All the hulls are made by Klamath Baja Bay Runner. And we have these skiffs with beautiful bait tanks from West Coast Bait Tanks and full electronics, all set up perfectly right centered with a boat. And we preload all of our boats with hundreds of fishing spots where you can rent one of our boats and head out fishing for the day with the family or with some buddies. And then when you get back into port, we refuel, we clean, we ice up, and you get to go home. That's what we do, Dave.
Well, that is a great deal, because there's a lot of my members of my website that do not own their own boat. And this is going to be spectacular to allow them to partake in what you do. And what I think is really cool is those of you in San Diego, LA, Newport, wherever you're located at, you just give Ryan a call and you tell him, hey, I want to use your boat on Saturday, and I'm going to be in Newport. Ryan shows up with the boat on a trailer, launches the boat for you. All you do is step on the boat with your tackle and your food, and you go fishing for the day, and you cover the fuel. Is that correct?
All the boats are, we have business licenses for all the cities where the ports are at. We provide all of your ice, all of your fuel, and then all the boats are also stocked with, dip nets and gaffs and portable shitters and everything you'd want on your own boat.
Imagine that, because I brought up the word gas because we all know what gas costs today. And so that could be a hidden cost that you didn't realize what was going to happen at the end of the day if you go out fishing on your boat, or if you go out fishing with your friends and they go, hey, just pitch in for the gas at the end of the day. And you're like, whoa, we each got to come up with $300 on top of everything else. We didn't see that coming. This is such a spectacular deal, gang. Like Ryan said, the boat comes with all the spots preloaded. Here's how I believe it goes, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I've been told by other people. You tell Ryan what you're expecting your experience to be like, and him and his guys will run over. Let's say you want to go over to Catalina for the day and catch bass, barracuda, and bonita. You're going to sit down, or one of your guys is going to sit down and say, these are the spots. These are the spots where we believe you can go to and catch some fish, and the spots are already preloaded. You don't have to go over there and try to figure it all out on your own, right? Is that what kind of?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of love, and we have a lot of respect, and we have a lot of good working relationships with the community. And so, local captains, local sport boats, the Your Saltwater guide community, 976 community, Fish Dope community, if someone wants to go rock fishing, we're going to let them know the spots to go. If someone wants to put their kids on Bonita and Calico at Catalina, we tell them where to anchor and how to read the current. And we send all of our renters, they get emails 3 and 2 days ahead of time that kind of tells them what the weather's going to be like, what the swell's going to be like, you know, what the anticipated current is. It going to be uphill or downhill? So when they go fishing for the day, they feel like they have a plan. It's like it almost coincides exactly with Your Saltwater guide does.
And how cool is that, gang? I hope you're understanding and listening to what Ryan's having to say. And another thing, Ryan, because we've been talking about this on the show for the last couple of weeks, and I think this is a big deal. You all know that I'm sponsored by Promar. Well, so is Ryan. Ryan, do you run lobster trips?
Yeah, so we do 2 different kinds of lobster trips. We're the only company in California that does lobster boat rentals. So we have a commercial rental insurance, and we have a relationship with Promar to where you can rent one of our boats on the confines of the Long Beach Breakwall or the confines of Mission Bay, and your boat comes with 10 rigid conical Promar ambush nets, all your floats, all your bait, all your lights, everything you need. You just got to show up with your lobster card. And if you don't feel comfortable running your own rig, we also have Coast Guard approved captains for bareboat charters.
Gang, is that incredible? Because I know a lot of you watch my show every day and you're like, I want to get out there and go lobster fishing. And you see all these phenomenal posts from all of my members and you're going, I want to get out there and do the lobster thing. Well, listen, Ryan can't make it any easier. I think the only way he could make it easier is if him and his wife showed up at your house and made you lobster dinner. I mean, really, come on, Ryan. I mean, that's a big deal. Talk a little bit more about this lobster thing, because that's the hot ticket right now is lobster fishing in Southern California. So
yeah,
talk about your clients and what are your members and what they're doing.
So
and how, one other thing while you're talking about how do you get involved in this thing? Do you have to buy a membership or can you just rent the boat for the day? I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about.
Yeah, so we're a true rental company. We're very similar to renting a car. You hop on our website, you hop on social media, you let us know, take a look at our calendar. You want to go out of San Diego, Orange County, Long Beach, you pick your date. You can pick a 3/4 day or a full day or a twilight lobster or an overnight lobster. You can reserve it. You know, it's $150 to reserve a boat, and that locks you in, and then you pay the balance ahead of time. But, you know, with the lobster specifically, what you have to remember is we're one of the only spots around that is allowed to get spiny lobster using these hoop nets. You got the Florida and the Gulf. Everyone's, you know, diving down. Everyone's using their tickle sticks. Everyone's, you know, and there's not a lot of people that have that stamina and that body type to do free diving and scuba. And so with these lobster rentals, you know, right now we're in that transitional period where the lobsters are going, they're going to be coming shallow here pretty soon. Yeah, end of January, February, March is the best time for lobster fishing. And so these rentals are within the confines of the breakwall, the Los Angeles Federal Breakwall. You got 7.5 miles from Pedro all the way into Huntington, and then down in Mission Bay, you got a beautiful little bay there with really good crawls during this time of year. And we provide bait, fresh bait. We got bait that's been soaked by the bite-on attractant with the salmon heads from Jeff over in Lobsterport. And then we got those cool Promar LED lights. We got pulleys. You basically just got to show up with a heartbeat and breathing.
Yeah, well, think about that, gang. That is incredible. You don't have to go out and buy all the hoop nets. You don't have to go buy all the stuff. You just go and show up. Let's just say you own your own boat and you're thinking about doing the lobster thing, but you don't want to get all that stuff and then find out you don't like it. You can go take your family and go on one of Ryan's boats and go do it and go, hey, wait a minute. This is way more than I thought it would be. Or wait a minute, this is pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty cool way to go. I like that. That, you know me, lobster is a big deal for me, and especially for all my members this time of year. And like Ryan was saying, gang, this is the best time. Right now, till the end of the season, is the very, very best time to go. And as far as openings go and as far as things right now, do you have can people call right now and do one of these lobster trips? You got plenty of openings, or are you getting filled up?
No, I mean, we have bookings, of course, but we have weekends open. We have weekdays open. We got boats out of Long Beach, boats out of Mission Bay. And what's cool is you could just, you could be sitting on the pot if you want on your cell phone and take a look at our calendar and reserve from your phone,
And the prices, I was looking at your prices, gang. And if you look at his prices and then you go, and I love Ryan up there on the Gale Force and Triton and all that stuff. But if you look at your price and then you look at their price, there is not a lot of difference except for the fact that you get to go on your boat and be in charge of your deal with your family, not with some other people.
Yeah.
And believe me, my family owns 9 sport boats. So I got that concept too. And we love that concept, but
Yes, we
there's
do.
nothing better than being out with your family catching lobsters, right?
And what's cool is if you're striking out and the kids are bored and grandma's bored and you just, we got phenomenal, like I'm using a Dave Hansen word there. We got phenomenal bass fishing and halibut fishing and sculpin fishing within the breakwall where you don't have to worry about swell and weather.
Exactly. Yeah, you can go, but there's no time to not go on a sport boat. It's a great way to go if you don't want any hassle. I promote the heck out of all the sport boats. We own 9 of them. I would never say anything bad about it, but there is a bitchin' concept being with your family on a boat and seeing if your family enjoys it. And like Ryan just said, if it's not going good, if things aren't cool, you can go home. You can't do that when you buy a ticket on a sport boat. You're stuck there till the end.
Yeah. And there's also the opportunity, if you want, you could, pull into Bellas Point or pull into one of the, have some lunch, have some dinner, put the boat up. It's the possibilities are endless. We got people that just want to go out and chase dolphin. We got guys that want to go out and look at sea lions. And, I want to address really quick. Somebody commented, what's the website to rent a fishing boat? Well, if you're looking in Southern California, just Google the word SLAYDAY, SLAYDAY, or just check out SLAYDAYSOCAL.com. You can check out our boats there.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to check out his website. It's pretty cool. But you can call Ryan or call one of his guys, and he's going to talk to you and explain it all to you too, because sometimes a website just doesn't quite get that loving feeling that you're going to get by talking to Ryan. And Darren, one of our good members, Darren, he's a teacher. Ryan, I think this is the coolest thing in the world where you come from. Ryan is a school principal. That is a big deal, buddy. You're teaching the children the right thing. You're one of those few people on the good side, teaching our children the right thing. Just like our good friend Darren, he's in a PE class right now. All of his students are listening to us right now, Ryan. He puts it on live during the PE class. They're listening to us right now. Isn't that bitchin'?
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I've been blessed. I was a school teacher for 9 years. I've been a principal for 10 years, and unfortunately, right now I'm on a little medical sabbatical. But yeah, that's my first passion is teaching our youth, Dave.
I think me. I'm all about the children, and I'm all about teaching the right things. And I'm so happy that that's what you do, and I'm so happy that's what my friend Darren does. But I just wanted you guys to understand where Ryan's coming from. And Ryan, you've been fishing for a very long time. You were telling me days about going fishing with me back on the Seahorse back. That was a long time ago.
So yeah, my dad started taking us fishing in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
And we were, my first memories were on the barges, the Annie B and the Redondo Pier, the Isle of Redondo, probably like 86, 87, 88, bonita and calico and mackerel. And, my balls hadn't even dropped yet. I was just a little kid, man.
And I talk about that because I want you guys to understand where Ryan's coming from. He's just not some guy that just went, oh, we're going to get some rental boats and go do this rental boat thing. He's coming from the passion of fishing and the passion of teaching, which are the two things I'm all about, is passion of teaching people the right things to do when they're out on the ocean, and then having that passion and passing it on to our children, which I know that's a huge thing for you. So I just want you all to understand who you're talking to and who you're hiring when you hire Ryan. You're not just hiring a boat rental company. You're actually hiring someone who actually cares.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I think it's a family deal. It's you and your wife, and you're doing this, and it's not like it's a corporation when you call one of those other fancy schmancy places that have all those boats that you have to pay phenomenal amount of money just to get in the club. Yeah. You guys are so personable and so good to the clients. There's no one that has anything not nice to say about you. If you could listen to my Zoom meeting last night with my members, they were all excited about this show today and just finally get to find out, because they've seen so much about you social media wise, to find out who the man behind Slay Day is.
Yeah, the man is just a guy who loves fishing and loves the Lord and loves teaching. And just, I want, what's going to happen, Dave, I think you'll agree with me, and anyone else listening, is if we don't foster, and if we're not the catalyst for this next wave of anglers and outdoorsmen and outdoorswomen, we're gonna lose fishing in California.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't get more, you know, more into our community, I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
I totally agree with you, Ryan. People ask me all the time, Dave, how do you find the time to do a show every single day, Monday through Friday, every single day? Well, I have a huge vested interest in this. My family, we're all fishing people. We've all done this our whole lives. We don't want it to go away. And I thought it was so important 3 years ago when I first put this thing together and started doing this, is to educate everybody on how important it is to make sure we keep the passion alive with the children. And I think that's why Slay Day is such a bitchin' thing for people that are sitting on the fence, not sure if they want to get a boat, if they don't want to get, you get to go do Ryan's thing, go out on one of his boats, and then find out if this is what your family's into. How rad is that? Without making that giant 40, 50, 60, 100, $130,000 investment to find out your family ain't into the boat. Get to go do Ryan's thing. I think this is going to be good for everybody.
You know, on our boats, Dave, you know, in addition to everything we talked about, you got, you know, the Type 2 light fish, you got the flare guns, you got backup VHF radio, you got emergency ladder, you got an anchor, you got a winch, you got a wash down, you got a live well. Like, there's nothing that these boats don't have. And so what's cool is a lot of times we've been lucky enough to partner up with companies like, you know, Promar, and companies like Reeves Lures, and companies like Lingcod Jigs, where,
and
you know, we're in Opsin. Yeah. I mean, we're lucky enough, you know, awesome man, Greg, we teamed up with Opsin for our Slay Day line of 30-pound fluoro. And, you know, everybody that rents our boats gets a fresh spool of fluoro and plastics and jig heads. And it's just, we like to bring all the different facets together.
How cool is that? And I'm telling you, gang, today we're going to give away 3 gift certificates, I believe, for 50% off. Greg's been, when he heard you were coming on the show today, he's like, hey, give 3 of your viewers. So if you leave a comment, tell Ryan what you think, leave a comment on here. That's how I'm going to be able to figure out which one of the 3 of you are going to win this. And then I'll get a hold of you guys after the show, and I'll let you know you won this 50% off the spools of Opsin fluorocarbon. But you use Opsin on all your boats, right?
Yeah. I mean, Opsin, they make everything from, I think, 6-pound fluoro up to 130. So if we're just targeting, you know, local kelp and we're using 30-pound, perfect. But if we step it up to 60-pound for a night bite on some bluefin, perfect, Opsin. If you want to fish for spotties, perfect, Opsin. Like, I love the fact that Greg and his team of veterans that help spool his line, they cover everybody from your bass and your bluegill fishermen up to your big game fishermen. Smart man.
Absolutely. Now, we have a bunch of people that listen to this show every day on the podcast, after the show, on Apple Podcast and Spotify and Megaphone. They're probably driving in their cars and stuff. So just one more time for everybody, because we're going to wrap this up pretty quick. We're already like 20 minutes into it. I just want everybody to get your number and your website, the people that are driving around their cars, because a lot of people aren't sitting here on their computer like we are. So
no, I appreciate
listening. Uh-oh. What happened? We lost
there.
You hear? You're back.
The biggest thing is, I mean, no matter what you're on, it just look at the word Slay Day. There's not too much out there named Slay Day. So Google Slay Day. But more importantly, you can text and call us up to 9 p.m. every day, 714-914-4979. Instagram, SLAYDAY SOCAL. Facebook, SLAYDAY SOCAL. TikTok, SLAYDAY SOCAL. Social Club, it's all under the same, man. So.
And one of your good friends, he's a member of my website. He was mentioning this yesterday. The really cool thing about Ryan is he's on social media all the time. And you know what Ryan does? He answers your questions with no negative. He's always there to help everybody. He's sharing. When you're asking questions on your private boat, Ryan's not pushing his business. He's just trying to help you. Kind of doing the same thing I do all the time. You're right there. And that's what Harry brought up last night on the podcast. It was or on the Zoom call. is that you're such a kind human that you're always there, because there's so much negative nowadays on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. There's a lot of people sharing negative. When you ask a question, you get bombarded by all this, but not Ryan. You're always super kind. You're not selling yourself. You're just selling. You're not even selling anything. You're just giving away
knowledge,
information. Yeah, that's what they're asking for. They don't want some guy telling them that they're a booger eater because they don't know what they're asking. It's crazy. And I love that about you. And that's why you and I become such good friends, is because of the kindness in your heart. And you and I, we kind of approach this thing the same way. It's about education, and it's about keeping the passion alive so they don't close everything, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I mean, you'll agree with me, like we have a wave. The next generation is so addicted to the screen that we need to make sure they're outdoors, whether it's swimming in the ocean or kicking pine cones down a path while looking at trees. Like, they need to be outdoors. And that's a big part of why we do this also.
Yeah, they need that suntan. They need to be outside. They need to be experiencing what's going on out there, because you'll agree with me, because you're on the inside of this thing. But there's a lot of people talking to our children in those classrooms that have their own agenda, which,
yeah, unfortunately, there's some,
which is kind of scary.
Yeah, it is.
And then so you'll never see anything when you're on social media and you see Ryan, you're only going to see positive. And that's what we both try to preach on a daily basis. Keep it as positive as you possibly can, and keep these children engaged. And that's what Slay Day does with those boats. It's so incredible. You get to go as a dad or a mom. You have plenty of moms that rent those boats and take their kids out fishing, right?
Yeah, we have a lot. Actually, we have a lot. It's a husband, wife, and kids, and like we allow dogs also. So like we've done that probably a couple dozen times, where you get the mom, the dad, the kids, and the dog. It's perfect.
How wonderful is that? That's how they get to find out if they really want to be in the boating world, right? They get to go out there, the whole family and the dog. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And they're the cool thing is, and Dave, I've heard you say this a million times in the past 6-7 years, but even if they're just out by the breakwall catching mackerel, like they're catching mackerel and they're seeing sea lions and seagulls and pelicans and big old freight liners, and like just the whole experience. It's not just about the rod and the reel. That's kind of what Slay Day is opening itself up to. Is now we got a beautiful 32-foot boat down in the Big Bay in San Diego, and we're gonna start promoting harbor cruises and whale watching and up and just all of that. Just get on the water straight up.
Exactly. And so they can come down to San Diego, go out on your charter boat down there, or they can take one of your boats and go look at whales and go look at dolphins and go just cruise around and go have lunch in Newport, or go have lunch in Long Beach or whatever. You don't have to fish, right? You don't, just because it says Slay Day on the side doesn't mean you have to go slay fish all day, right?
No, you don't. You don't have to fish. And the cool thing is, you got your own boat. You can do whatever you want.
That is so cool, gang, to think about that he's offering that service to you where you don't have to spend a lot of money to get in on it. You can just be in on it, and you can just be a part of Slay Day for the day. It's just a simple, easy phone call. Call Ryan. It's no pressure. He's just going to let you know what he does. He's not going to pressure you. He's not going to say, you have to rent my boat. No, he's just going to explain to you how it all works. So don't feel scared to call him. He's super approachable. The guy you're seeing right now is the same guy I see everywhere I go and every time I call him. Nothing but kind.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, my wife, I'm lucky enough that my wife supports us and she helps out too. And we'll see. She'll be down at PCS. We're gonna get a big 60-foot booth over by the trout pond. So
nice. Well, there'll be a lot of people at that show, gang. A lot of people. So we're gonna wrap things up here, gang. Make sure if you had any questions or anything, call Ryan at Slay Day. Ryan, you're going to give your phone number one more time. The website's easy to find. Phone numbers for old people like me, it's easier to call you, but go ahead.
You could text, or you could call 714-914-4979, or just Google Slay Day.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate my very first guest. Thank you very, very much. This went really cool. We had a lot of engagement, a lot of people watching. I hope this helps you, because you help me every single day just by being the kind person that you are.
Thank you, Dave, man. Well, I'll see you in about a month up at the show.
Yep, I'll see you at the PCS show. Everybody, thank you very much for being a part of the show. We're going to jump off of here now and go down to the beach and film some videos. See ya. Thank you.